Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and sorry, I've got my dog here. He wants to play all of a sudden. But welcome to the webinar. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. Tonight, we're going to be sharing some weight loss testimonials, and specifically, we're going to be talking about the Sisel Turn and Burn product. Here's the little box. I don't know if you can, well, let me see. If you can see that, Turn and Burn. It goes out of focus with this when we have that backdrop in there, but yeah, there it is. And so welcome to the webinar. And I've been taking the product now for just a little over a month, and I can tell a difference. I find that it works really well. And Katie, welcome to the webinar. I was just going to share my little story on the Turn and Burn product before we get started. You're muted.
Oh yes, please do so.
Yeah, so I ordered it the day that it became available, and it showed up the next week. It was about a 4-day delivery to get it up here to Fargo, and I started taking it. Liesel asked me to give a testimonial a couple weeks ago on her call, and at that time I really couldn't say anything. I really couldn't say that it was helping me much, and I'd only been on it for 2 weeks, and really honestly, I'd only been actively trying to lose weight for the 2 weeks that I'd been on it. So I couldn't say that it was really doing me a lot of good either way. But it was the next week after that that I really started to notice that some things were happening without making any changes in my weight loss program. All of a sudden, my clothes started fitting looser. I noticed that I had to pull my belt back another notch, and so what I've noticed is exactly what I was hoping it would happen with that product. Is that, you know, if you've listened to me before, you know that I live in the North Country. It's cold up here compared to where most of you that are on the call with me right now. You all live down in Australia, and you can't even imagine it being below zero, you know, and staying there for extended periods of time. But I live up here year round, and we have, I mean, 9 months of the year, it can be below freezing, and some months it never gets above 0 Fahrenheit. And so what happens is that our bodies tend to make this white fat, and white fat is storage fat. Storage fat is the fat that sticks with you. It's designed to help keep you warm in the wintertime, kind of act as insulation, because if we go way back in our genetics, Northern European genetics, we tend to go through some extreme times where there's some extreme temperature changes, and maybe there's extreme times when there's not a lot of food around, when you know, back in our ancestry. But today, the problem with it is that we don't have those periods of time where there's extended periods of time where there's no food, and we don't have any extended periods of time where we're really not in that cold for very long. Sure, I live here, but I don't go outside and stand out there and freeze my behind off. I go back in somewhere where it's warm. I'll go in a warm house or a warm car or my warm shop to work on my car. But where I go it's warm. So it's not like a big old grizzly bear that's going and hibernating and now needs that extra fat. So what happens is that white fat tends to stay with us for extended periods of time. So what the Turn and Burn product does is a Turn and Burn product takes that white fat and it turns it into brown fat. And brown fat has mitochondria, it has a blood supply, it even has a nerve supply. And what happens is once it turns into brown fat, then your body can actually burn it as energy. It converts it into energy. And so it took that 3 weeks for that to kick in, and I can really feel it, Katie. I really feel that even though, you know, I'm losing the weight as though if I was just taking the Sisel Thin, you know, when I jump on the scale, but where I'm noticing that the Turn and Burn product is that my clothes fit better, my pants fit better, my shoes fit better, everything fits better. So I'm burning off that excess fat, and I like that. I like that, Katie.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I can see it in your face, and yeah, you look a lot better. So well done. Congratulations. And we had our weight loss team come in this month. I've just got the tally here. I'm just going to bring it up. So we've been running our weight loss challenge for the month of February, and now we're continuing on into March. But the total weight lost for the team was 91.4 pounds for the month of February collectively as a team of 11 people. So
Nice.
that was a really good result. I don't know if it's enough for us to win the competition, but we're going to find out on Tuesday. I'm hoping we do get a prize, but let's see. But
Yeah.
either way, the greatest reward, of course, is better health, isn't it?
That's right. And just getting involved, it adds one more thing to the motivation, because when people are competing, people are competitive. They want to win, and so it'll make you work. And what if we come in second? Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to make us work harder in March to lose a little bit more. If we come in first, we're gonna have to work hard in March because we got to maintain that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a really good result for everyone who's been on the team. So well done. And if you're listening to the recording now, or you're with us live on Facebook and you want to join for March, reach out to Dr. Kurt or myself. You can join with us. Kurt's sending out daily motivational text messages, and we're doing a check-in call on the Monday night for those of you here in Australia. So for quite a number of us, they've had really good results. So we might bring Carmel across, Dr. Kurt. She's on the call at the moment. Bring her across because she's got a couple of testimonials to share, and she'll share how she's been going as well, what products she's been taking. And I've also got a recorded testimonial from Sue Johnson, who was unable to make it but has had really good results. And so we're going to share her testimony on the call as well.
All right. Well, Carmel, I'm trying to bring you over to the panel, and it's not allowing me to do that. Oh, there it
Looks
did.
like she is.
There you are. Okay. So if you want to unmute yourself, there you are, Carmel. Well, welcome to the call, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your testimonial. I don't know if Katie had warned you that she was going to bring you on the call.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Kurt. I did have one of my team members was going to text me with her results so far, but she hasn't as yet. So I'm sorry I can't give that one. But I do have another friend who's done really, really well with it. And she just lives in Ballina near me. So she's lost about 4 kilos so far.
4 kilos. That's just under 10 pounds. Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
She's lost a lot. I think that was it. Do you remember, Katie?
Yeah, we're talking about
Robin
Robin?
in front of me. Yes.
Robin? Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Why don't we bring that up? I'll just bring up the testimonial because we've got some photos here of her as well. And that's always nice to see some photos because you can see a really big difference in her face, can't you?
And when I first saw her, after a couple of weeks of doing this, I thought, gosh, you have lost so much weight. And I'm thinking, don't lose too much, So, but she is doing so well and is so motivated because she still wants to lose another 20 kilos, would you believe?
Nice.
So she's keen. She's keen. Yeah. But I'm like Dr. Kurt, as in, I'd been on the product for about 2 weeks and I hadn't really noticed any change, except it was making me tired at night.
Good,
and
that's
also,
good. At night,
yeah, but I wake up at 1 o'clock in the middle of the night, so that's something that I need to work on. But I did notice I'd lost about 5 centimeters from my waist. So even though I hadn't lost the weight on the scales, I had lost it on my waist.
And for those of you in America, that's about 2 inches. So she's lost about 10 pounds and 2 inches. Nice. No, your friend lost the 10 pounds.
Yeah, she lost the 10 pound and I lost the 5 centimeters. But I'm finally, after I gave Katie my last report on what I'd lost, the next day I weighed myself and it was down a lot. And I thought, oh, too bad today's not the check-in time. But anyway, it is. I'm feeling very confident for the second month.
Yeah, good. Great work. So I'll bring up Robin's testimonial here. So can we see that?
Yep.
Let me move this out of the way. Yeah, so Robin Lavender, I started using Turn and Burn on the 14th of February. And once I started I noticed feeling more comfortable in my denim shorts after about a week. They were really tight and uncomfortable. Now they're really comfortable and I can do up the button easily. I'm definitely less bloated in the stomach and thighs. I'm eating clean, gardening, and walking for exercise, plus doing some 16/8 fasting and a little bit of keto. After 2 weeks on Turn and Burn, I've lost 4 centimeters off my stomach. Plus, I'm sleeping much better. So that's a big one, isn't it, Dr. Kurt? Sleeping better, because, you know, Tom's talked about on previous calls, Tom Mauer Jr., who's the chief Sisel scientist and formulator of the product, how important sleep is for weight loss. When we're sleeping, we are burning calories. And when we're sleeping, our body is repairing. And what tends to happen is if we're not also getting enough sleep, whilst that means we're awake more, we're going to eat more. So, you know, we tend to eat more food because our body's going to reach for some food to get some more energy to stay awake. So sleep is really important. That's just part of it. But sleep is really important, obviously, for weight loss. So she goes on and she says, as soon as I took the night tablets, I drift off easily to sleep instead of tossing and turning. So that's really, you know, a great outcome for her. My overall health is fantastic, so much energy. She's also taking the Age Pill and Spectramax as well. And says she's been helped by some of the tips that I've been giving her on the weight loss check-in calls that we've been doing. So
Excellent.
She recommends Turn and Burn to boost, as a boost and to help weight loss goals. And you can see her photos there, can't you? The before and after. Great results.
You can see it right here in her face, right in her cheeks.
Yeah, so that is an awesome result. So that's really good. And we've got another, who else have we got on the call today? Well, Ian's been eating a lot healthier. Maybe Ian, you might unmute yourself and just share. And I know you hadn't been well, Ian, and so you had lost some weight, but if you want to share some of the changes you've done with eating and some of the things that you've done to help with your weight loss.
Yeah, sure, Katie. No, it's actually, even given the fact that I had some challenges, it's now been 7 weeks since that thing. But so from about the 6th week, I've actually been eating really well. Like I eat veggies and just following a little bit about your tips and things like that. And so in the last week or so, getting on the scales, I seem to have lost about another kilogram, which
Great,
is what? So
2.2 pounds.
Yeah. So and this is maybe I miss a meal every now and then. I do a little bit of I miss lunch, or I'll have breakfast, miss lunch, and I'll have a veggie meal at night.
Yeah.
So it's really going well, and I'm feeling really good. I've recovered extremely well. I've been so happy with my progress. It's in fact, at the moment, I'm outside helping Des paint again, which I didn't think I'd have to do again. Yeah.
Oh, great.
So I'm really feeling really good. I haven't tried the Turn and Burn yet, but I'm thinking about it. I sort of gave it a bit of a rest from the challenge I had, so
Yep.
I'll give it a go, and I'll see how that goes.
But
Okay,
you know,
cool.
Ian, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I mean, because you were sick, you probably burnt up a lot of that white fat, because that's what it's for. That's what your body puts the white fat there for, is save it for a rainy day. Well, guess what? You went through your rainy day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had about 11 days of somewhere out of space somewhere. I don't know where it was, but
Yeah.
even so, it's I did lose about 8 or 9 kilograms in that period. But from now, like I've been given the all clear, so and I am losing weight at the moment for what I'm doing. So
Excellent.
watching what I eat. Yeah, it's really about eating what the good things. I don't snack on sweets and stuff like that. I don't have biscuits. I don't have anything like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. So really, it's about, and I don't change my diet really much from veggies, and I have some protein in I eat chicken, maybe some fish sometimes, but apart from that, I don't eat big meals either. So I think that's one of the side products of losing weight, is that you tend to take your meal sizes down a bit too. And from my particular age group, I think that's important as well, because although I tend to be pretty physically active at the moment, but generally speaking, when you're getting on a bit, you're not as physical, so you don't need as much. So
Yeah.
I think that's another important aspect.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, great. Well, we've got a testimonial from Sue Johnson here, so I'm just going to
Thanks, Ian.
play
Thanks,
that. So yeah,
thanks.
thank you, Ian. That was wonderful. It's great inspiration and motivation for everyone to hear. Let me just see if I can just share this here. Recorder, share sound. Okay. So this was a phone call. She was unable to get on the call live, so I recorded the call. Oh, wrong recording. Hang on a second. Oh, that was me doing a test. Hang on. Maybe just give me a second to find it, Kurt, if you want to just chime in and say something else. I was just brought up the wrong.
You bet. You know, for everyone that's trying to lose weight, and you know, it seems like every year people are challenged by their weight, and they'll lose a little bit, and then they'll put some on, then they'll lose a little bit, and then they'll put some on. And every year it seems like that's what happens with people. And there's all these fad diets you can go on, you know, like, and I'm not even going to name them all, but there's a lot of fad diets you can go on. You lose a lot of weight. You can lose a lot of weight. But the problem with it is that what happens, your brain picks up that you're losing weight, and it says, oh no, we're starving to death. And so it puts that extra white fat on. So the white fat is the result of all the weight loss programs that you failed on in the past. So think about that. So the turn and burn, if you've done a weight loss program and you lost weight, but you gained back more than you lost, turn and burn is the proper product. So if you're listening to this call, get a hold of the person that got you here, go to your back office. If you're a Sisel member, order that product, because you're the perfect candidate for this product. That's why I was so excited when Tom Jr. talked about coming out with it, because I've been fighting weight since about 1988. It's a long time, and you know, and I've learned a lot about weight loss. I've tried different things. You know, I've tried keto, and I've tried high protein, the Atkins diet. You know, I've tried low carb. I tried and I'm sorry to say this, I tried the diet soda, you know, with all the, you know, the artificial sweeteners and things like that, which, you know, if you've been following me on Facebook, I've been posting on there how dangerous those things are. They're finding now that those artificial sweeteners increase your risk of pancreatic cancer, increase your risk of colon cancer, and increase your risk of myocarditis, heart disease, and even strokes. And that's those artificial sweeteners. So you don't want to use anything artificial if you possibly can. So Katie.
So Kurt, so we'll just come back to that for a second. There's different types of artificial sweeteners. I mean, stevia is a popular one. That's a plant-based one that seems to have
when I say artificial man-made sweetener, not artificial, not sugar all substitutes. We're not talking about sugar substitutes.
Okay,
what we're talking about artificial sweeteners, Splenda, and which is chlorinated sugar, sucralose, NutraSweet, and I'm trying to think of some of the other names for NutraSweet. They came out with so many things for that. You know, here in the United States now, they can just call that sugar. They don't even have to tell you that it's NutraSweet, which is, it's sad, because, you know, with all these new studies coming out, we really don't want to be on that stuff.
Yeah, and it does tend to upset the gut bacteria. There's, you know, particular gum I've had in the past. It's an alcohol sugar. You can't break it down, and I tell you what, it rips through your gut lining and really upsets the bacteria balance and the gastrointestinal tract to the point where you just don't feel well.
Yep.
And it even has warnings on the packet, you know, this product may cause problems. So that's an important thing to note. So that's really useful information for everyone listening. So actually what I might do, I'll finish off with Sue Johnson's testimonial, because I do have it now, which is really good. That goes for about 5 minutes, but let me just bring up these slides and let's just touch on quickly the ingredients just a little bit, and about the turn and burn. I'm just going to bring up this slide, and I want to talk about the one that's really helping people with sleep. Here, let me see. So with sleep, so we've got the AM and PM formula, Dr. Kurt. So with the AM formula, we've got quite a number of ingredients in there that really help to increase energy levels and help to boost the metabolism and burn more calories. So do you want to talk a little bit about those ingredients, and then we'll touch on the nighttime formula and why people are getting better sleep with that?
You bet. Well, if you take a look at the daytime formula, you got the green tea extract, you got the root and cocoa bean extract, cocoa bean extract, curcumin, olive leaf extract, kudzu, and black pepper. All of those ingredients, what they tend to do is they tend to boost metabolism. They tend to mobilize the fat cells, get rid of toxins, get rid of inflammation. And then kudzu, of course, is from a cactus, and they found that kudzu helps with getting rid of appetite and gives you energy. So again, the daytime formula will keep. If you take that at night, it's going to tend to keep you awake because it's got caffeine and things like that. And so that's going to be what I'm going to call the burn product. It's going to help you burn the fat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the evening. So the evening product is to help with sleep, which we've talked about already, how sleep's going to help with your weight loss, which doesn't really make sense when you first mention it, but when you understand why that is, it really does. The better sleep you have, the more calories you will burn and the more efficient your body can be. Because, it's really important to balance the hormones as well. And so there's a number of ingredients in the evening formula that do help with sleep and help to balance the hormones as well. So Kurt, do you want to run through those ingredients?
You bet. Well, when I look at the ingredients, the first thing I try and look for the ones that I recognize right away. Like you look at glycertin. Glycertin is a product that helps with the heart. It helps to kind of keep the arteries open. It helps to keep blood flow. Remember that brown fat doesn't have a very good blood supply. It's one reason that people tend to have more heart disease when they're overweight, because the heart has to work so hard to push blood through those brown fat cells. So glycertin helps with the blood flow, things like that. You've got the grapeseed extract. Grapeseed is great for helping mobilize and move fat around, help with energy. Cocoa powder, again, it helps with clarity, helps with those types of things. Resveratrol helps that DNA, repairing damaged DNA through the sirtuin genes. And then the fucoxanthins, again, if you remember when we came out with Sisel Thin, that's one of the ingredients in Sisel Thin. It helps to make the fat so it's available to be burnt as energy. Pomegranate, again, helping your body so it's ready to make energy. Ginger, if you've ever used ginger in cooking, it tends to be kind of a little bit of a spicier spice. So it'll tend to help mobilize some of that fat and bring out some of the energy in that fat. And then you've got melatonin. Melatonin, of course, is the neurotransmitter that helps you sleep. So what we're doing at nighttime is we're taking that fat and we're turning it into something that your body can use as energy, because during the daytime, of course, your body's focused on energy. It's focused on brain function, things like that. It's not focused on moving things from here to there. It's focused on energy. So that's the difference between two, just really kind of simplifying it. When one helps to mobilize it, one tends to burn it.
Yeah, fantastic. And actually on the Sisel fact sheet, I was just looking it up here on my phone. It says that it turns white fat into energy for brown fat to burn 300 times more calories. Obviously those claims aren't, approved by the FDA, but we can't claim to treat, prevent, or cure. However, that really highlights the strength of those ingredients working together synergistically. It's really, 1 + 1 doesn't really equal 2, does it, Kurt? It equals 4. In this instance, we get a combined effect of the ingredients, and that's where you get that boost of being able to burn more calories.
You bet. That's that new math,
Yeah, the new math. Okay, great. Well, I've got Sue Johnson's testimonial here, so we'll play that now, and that'll then take us to the end of the call. So I'll share that with you now.
Yeah.
Thank you. So are you okay just to talk for a couple of minutes and just to share your testimonial?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that'd be great. So yeah, congratulations on your weight loss for this month.
Thank you.
That's great. So how much have you lost in total?
4.7 for the month.
4.7 kilos. That is absolutely fantastic. Well done.
Yeah, I'm very pleased.
So can you tell us a little bit about, what you do for work and how you achieved your success for this month?
Yeah, what I do for work is I'm a neonatal nurse.
Wow. Okay.
And so I work shift work. So sometimes that can be a bit hard with your eating plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I work 12-hour shifts, but I've managed to fit the exercise in even though I work 12 hours. So I was very pleased to be able to do that.
Well done. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get up at 4:45 and I either go to the gym and do like a 30-minute just cycle class so I have time to have my shower and get to work,
Mm-hmm.
or else I take the dog for a little run around the outside.
Okay, that's great. Dogs are a good way to get exercise.
Yeah, so exercise is a very important part of my life. I exercise at least 6 days a week.
Okay, wow. And how long do you exercise for?
Don't ask me what I do on a Saturday because I usually do about 3 hours, but generally half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And I always manage to fit in at least 20 minutes or more of yoga. I do yoga every day.
Yeah, fantastic.
So that's all the exercise part of my weight loss journey.
Okay, great.
And the other thing I like to do is I took your advice and I printed out those sheets with the vegetables and the fruit
Oh, good.
because I found I probably wasn't quite getting there
Yeah, good.
before.
Yep.
And that really makes you think about, I haven't had my fruit today, or I haven't fitted in my 5 vegetables, so I've been making an effort with that.
Excellent. Excellent.
And I also do sort of intermittent fasting. I don't generally have breakfast. I generally have like brunch
Mm-hmm.
and have to do my eating in the afternoon from lunchtime onwards, generally.
Right. Fantastic.
And I only started the Turn and Burn because it got to me a bit late. Had only been on that for the last week of the month.
Okay. And how did you find that?
I haven't noticed too much except that it does give me a deeper sleep.
Okay, fantastic. And so, yeah, sleep's really important for weight loss. So the better sleep you have, the more calories you're burning, because you actually burn quite a lot of calories while you're sleeping. And if you're not sleeping, what tends to happen is you don't have as much energy, and then people tend to reach for food for energy and eat more. And so that's really important. So that's great that you're getting a better sleep because it's got some awesome nutrition in that product.
Yeah, because they want me to do night shift at work, but I'm over 60 and I don't think I should have to do night shift after I've done it for 40 years.
No.
Because that's so detrimental to your health.
Yeah,
and
that's
your
right.
weight loss.
100%. You're right.
Yeah, so I try and avoid that.
Okay, that's fantastic. And what other Sisel products you've been taking? So you just started the Turn and Burn in the last week, and what was the other Sisel product?
Yeah, well, I've been on the age pill since February last year, so 1 year.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. And obviously you're enjoying the H pill?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've got a lot more energy, like, because I get up every morning, like, quite early, about 4:45, yeah, I've noticed my energy levels are quite good. I still might have to have a little nap in the afternoon, but not generally much.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's a great product. Yeah, it really helps with increasing the energy levels in the body amongst other things. So that's wonderful. So you must be really... Yeah, go
I've
on.
also noticed my fingernails.
Yeah.
My fingernails are growing profusely.
Oh, fantastic.
I have to actually cut them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a great product. Well, that's wonderful. Well, that's great. So thank you for sharing that testimonial today. I'm sure everyone who listens to your recording will enjoy it and inspire them and motivate them to, achieve for themselves.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, because I tell people, they say, I work too much or I work too long hours or I do shift work. I can't fit in exercise, but if you make it part of your life
Yeah.
style, you can fit it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Excellent. That's a great testimonial. I see
Yeah.
that Vicky raised her hand. Oh, let's see. Where did she go?
It might have been an accident.
Oh, there she is. Vicky, did you have a testimonial you wanted to share? All you have to do is unmute.
No, sorry, no testimonial for me, but just a comment about Sue not wanting to do night duty. The ANF had it written in some years ago that if somebody was 55, they had to get a letter from their doctor about not doing night duty, and then they were excused from all night duty.
Oh, there
So
you go.
that was
Great
the
tip.
Movement Federation. Yeah.
There you
So
go.
I did it when I got there, or well after that actually, and yeah, all just the doctor had to say no more night duty. End of story.
End of
Yeah,
story.
and they-
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. All right. Well, everyone,
worries.
thanks for jumping on the call tonight, and thanks for being here. Make sure and get this information out to people. Again, think about those people you know who have been challenged with weight all their adult life. You know, the people like me that have been yo-yo diets. We've been on this diet, we've been on that diet. It didn't work. That one didn't work. This Turn and Burn product, it makes sense to me. It's the perfect product for those people. So let them know. Have a great weekend. Katie, thanks for being here every week. And you know, I really appreciate you. I appreciate everybody on the team for everything they do. Thanks for being here.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for getting on.
Thank you. It was a good call.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kurt. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.